If you sometimes feel like entering menopause has opened up a whole new language to you, let alone a whole new world of crazy hormones, then you're not alone. Back in 2016, when I first started talking about perimenopause, nobody had really heard of the term perimenopause. Menopause was the catch all term that we used if it was talked about at all, of course. These days, us ladies are a bit more savvy, we're self advocating more, we're getting down on the lingo, but it can still be confusing. I talk quite a lot about the adrenal glands, and you would probably scroll right past at first because they don't sound like they have got anything to do with hormones or mood swings, crazy periods, and low energy, low libido, insomnia, bone density. But actually, those little things called the adrenal glands have got an awful lot to do with those things and more. And I want to show you why and how with, I'm just going to show you, okay? Imagine this Camelback, this big plastic bottle of water with a drinking straw at one end. Imagine this is one of your adrenal glands, and yeah, it's not to scale by any means. You've got two adrenal glands, by the way, and they are really a lot smaller than this, and they sit on top of your kidneys. I want to show you with this why it's important to give your adrenal glands some love, especially in the peri to post-menopause part of our lives. In fact, our entire lives. So this big water bottle with a straw that lets water out at the end, right? If I squeeze that, or if I were to drink through it, I would be drinking the water that's out of here. But if this really was your adrenal gland, or one of them, it wouldn't be water in here. It would be adrenaline and cortisol. Hormones which are really necessary to provide you with a quick kick of energy, of quick reaction at a time in life where it's needed. This might be full right now, but at the start of the day, by the time I've looked at the news headlines, put the radio on, heard what's going on in the world, checked my phone, looked at my email notifications, felt the nagging of work, of family perhaps, started to think about all that I need to do today, the stuff that I didn't get done yesterday, and then had my first cup of coffee for the day, I might well be feeling like I'm starting to release some of that cortisol. I'm starting to drink from the stores of those fight, flight, freeze hormones, those hormones that keep me going. Even though they're not really survival situations per se, not in reality, in my mind it does feel a bit stressful. So that's how my body responds to it, with stress hormones. It's worth pointing out right now that continually releasing cortisol and any of the stress hormones into the body all day for different reasons, it does have an impact. Higher cortisol is strongly correlated with more challenging menopause symptoms. Anything from brain fog to weight gain to low energy to insomnia, all of it's impacted. As your ovaries start to retire and they're producing less estrogen and progesterone, it's the adrenal glands that take on the extra load. And they've already been doing a really important job. They've been within their own right, been pretty busy. And we know that this peri to post, and we know that this time of life can be pretty hectic and pretty busy anyway, emotionally, physically challenging. Work stuff, family stuff, things going on at home, let alone in your own head. And it's compounding the hormonal challenges that we've already got. So now the adrenal glands aren't just in charge of cortisol and adrenaline response, they're also producing DHEA, a really important hormone that is like a precursor to estrogen and progesterone. That is, as long as your internal resources have not been dripping and being used up all the time on other things. And we're using up the adrenaline and cortisol, the energy hormones, but it also sends the message to your body that you're in a difficult and dangerous situation. So it's probably not a good time to be making the kind of hormones that are all about thriving and feeling good. Yeah. So the result is it just layers more complications, and it feels like tiredness, it feels like food cravings, a weariness and a despondency. So you need to make sure that we stop the constant drip and the leaking of this all of the time through the day. Because honestly, the message to make more estrogen and progesterone isn't just an autonomous one. It doesn't just happen by itself. You can have a say in that. There's quite a few different ways actually, and one of them is through food. We'll talk about that another time, but self-care. It gets a lot of bashing and a lot of misinterpretation, but there is a lot to be said, and actually there's a lot to be felt in giving yourself and doing the things that actually top up your tanks. Get over the idea that it has to be a big spa day, a weekend off, that it has to be something that you work up to doing, because honestly, those things are only going to temporarily top up your stores within those adrenal tanks. What you really need are small things to drip back into your adrenal glands, back into the reserves and the resources that feed into your hormonal system, your hormonal balance, that actually provide you with stuff rather than constantly taking it away. We need to bring things in on a daily basis. So it's not the big events that have to be planned well in advance. It's the small stuff. It's putting a lock on the bathroom door so you get 5 minutes to yourself in the morning. It's about agreeing that meal times are going to be relaxed and not rushed. It's not just another job to get through. It's something that's going to nourish you and replenish you. Don't rush that. And for a lot of people, especially women, it's about having the difficult conversations at home or at work that will enable you to have a bit more help and support with the stuff that I know that you are constantly trying to do. Oh yeah, and it's also about doing the practical stuff, like, actually drinking the water. That is actually water, that's not cortisol really. There'll be things that you do that light you up, that feel good, that are unique to you. Walking barefoot on the lawn, going for a drive and putting your favourite music on so that you can sing at the top of your voice. Going to a dance class with your friends, sitting in the corner and doing some knitting. It doesn't matter. It needs to be something that feels good to you. And don't wait for the weekend to do it. You need to find little snippets of time to sandwich these things in, just small things, because drip, don't let it get empty. This is your hormonal reserves right here. I know I joke about it, but it is actually pretty serious stuff. And you can make a hugely positive impact on your experience of yourself, let alone menopause, by doing some of this stuff and making it part of your life, part of your daily routine. And if you're struggling with knowing what to do or how to do it, or how on earth you're going to find time for it, then please get in touch. angiegarten.com. And Facebook community is Menopause Done Naturally, and there I'm waiting to welcome you in.